That is pretty desirable. I would definitely say that. Let's dive into the draft here for game number 3 and see what is going to be picked up. I think there's always this voice in the back of my mind that is telling me the deeper you get into Fearless, DK should find more angles, right? Because they have a lot of creativity on this roster. We saw at the beginning of the year, they were playing some real weird stuff. But we just have not seen any of that for about 8 months. So I just don't know whether we can really lean on that, which is a little bit unfortunate. They are going to be banning the same things away. Gwen and On were the first bans on the blue side in our last game. Doesn't matter about the nameplate change. That is just going to be the trades. And in fact, that is going to continue. So Orianna, Wukong, and then we'd have exactly the same bans moving in to this third game.
Yeah, after these 2 games, I'm just further convinced that whoever gets ahead early, it won't be pretty, but they'll probably win. Yeah. Kind of how both games have been going, meaning that these early skirmishes are often going to be game deciding. I also think that despite, I'm not going to lie, we were making a good amount of fun of Barrel in game number 1. Yeah. It does feel like it suits DK a lot better when they have 2 sacrificial lambs instead of 1. With how these games have played out so far, as the Wukong, unsurprisingly, taken off the board. Vi is open, which would be very DK to just snap up here on 1. This is a champion that Lucid really made a big splash on when we started out. I'm trying to think, like Orianna would be another that I think
Orianna's the only
one.
That's the one that wasn't banned out of this game compared to the last one.
Yeah.
But they are making sure that they wait as long as possible to make that decision
as well.
Will be the Vi in the end. And so Lucid going to be getting his hands onto one of his favorite picks. We'll see how he is going to do on the champion. But now BNK, they get to answer. Could be an Orianna Orianna and Nocturne angle if they would like to go that way. We know that Vikla does like the champion, but instead we're aiming towards the bottom side. And BNK are really making sure that they're locking down strong bottom lanes really early on in these drafts.
It really is highlighting how much faith they put in Diablo, right? Like, that's kind of the core of this. It's just we are ensuring that he has strong champions, no matter what. As so DK have gone many a time for Cho'Gath.
Oh God, yes they have.
I'm not gonna lie though, like Cho'Gath with Vi, that's a good combo. You know, having a guaranteed way is...
Ahri Vi Cho'Gath actually feels like a top side of the map.
Yeah.
It's kind of all right.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they end up going.
That being said, the reason we have our voices so full of trepidation here...
It's because Vi and Ahri both have been a little struggling.
No, it's because Xiu has a habit of going 0-9 on Cho'Gath.
Oh, he can't really play tanks that well. No, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, so that's where that's my main amount of fear.
So what is the boring pick? Because Aatrox is gone, Renekton is gone, and Bessa's gone.
Cassante,
there you go.
Pretty boring, yeah. So that one will be locked in. Once again, the bottom lane is going to get focused out. I imagine a Braum ban will come on through here to deny that from BNK. Wonder what they have planned, as Kellen is the Nami guy. He really is.
I think they just slam Braum though.
That's what they'll do.
Vi Ahri. I think that's a bit of a no-brainer. Does mean that BNK is gonna have to find engage in their jungle or mid. There is still a decent amount of junglers up. I do like the Rakan, but I think Rakan with Vi just goes insanely hard.
Yep.
And a lot of the other picks that are still available, you're not really too bothered playing them into Braum. And the real issue is that we have seen Barrel play things like Karma, things like Janna. I just don't think you can really get away with that at this point with this composition, right? Like, that's, to me, is the core issue, is that you are committed to dive. Now, you don't really have a way of pivoting out of that, which shouldn't come as a surprise because it's DK and they do this all the time. But it does mean that the Braum goes insanely hard, as there is a Sylas ban, kind of a flex ban at this point, both to jungle and to mid. As the Bard taken away should also not be too shocking. And it might just be Beryl saying, you know what, I know it's not a fun matchup, but I'm just gonna, like, slam Leona?
Yeah, I'll play Rel or something like that.
Rel, yeah, Rel's one that we often see into... it doesn't feel quite as bad as the Leona to play into Braum, but neither of them I think are very exciting as the Rise is still up here.
Yeah, it's
for
going to be the
Vikla.
choice.
I think BNK feeling pretty good so far with that draft. It's short range for sure, but so is the composition of DK.
Yeah, it's feeling pretty solid out of BNK. We'll see whether DK can actually throw any spanners in the works here, as Aiming's pick...
As Karma?
Yeah, as Karma just doesn't feel fantastic to me, but... Kalista Renata, that feels kind of fun. You mentioned short range, and this could certainly be an answer. It also takes it away for the potential next 2 games, as Nefiri will be locked in for Raptor. Doggos.
I don't love the... I think up until this point I was really happy with the BNK draft. I think Nefiri into Renata just feels so rough.
They could have also played Nocturne, and then you get to turn the lights off so they don't get to see the Realm Warp come. And that's
I think this is even like, this is one of the games where on DK, dealing with a Zed could have actually been decently hard. Unless they invest very heavy resources, right? Like actually use the ultimates.
Yeah.
I think you can, with Zed, you can go in and you can pop the mark and then that's fine. But if Nefiri goes in, you're in. You know, don't really have an easy way to get out. So in conclusion, I think that DK kind of last minute stuck the landing. I think this Kalista Renata feels great. Aiming is on the pick that he can carry with. It is just another example of whoever wins the first like 3 skirmishes probably just wins the game. Because I don't think either teams have great combat mechanics here, Atlas.
I would agree. I also think that the engage potential on the side of BNK is a bit limited to the Scion, and that is not necessarily what you want in a game like this. So I think the pendulum may have swung towards DK for this 3rd game, but thankfully no one on match point just yet. And if BNK can pull this one out of the bag, they could have themselves well and truly set up for a 3-1 victory. Let's get on to the Rift here for game 3.
협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 3. I am very happy to say that it is also the Akami skin for the Nefiri, which we love to see. I believe it's Soul Fighter Nefiri. With that chroma also, just makes it feel so Akami, and I just love it. All right, we got a bit of that the Scion shenanigans, but it is going to be found out here by DK. And Beryl walking alongside, aiming with Shu here towards their jungle.
You have to be mindful, because Braum early levels is always very scary, but not going to be anything too silly happening just yet. And yeah, the more I look, I think whichever team falls behind just has the worst time, Atlas.
Yep, that's what it feels like.
Because for BNK, this is one of the games where if Clear does get ahead, I do think he becomes really hard to take down reliably. Because obviously with enough time, Aiming will be able to. I think that Vi is also one of the junglers that does a little bit better into tanks because of the shred she provides with her W, as well as the fact that most likely it's going to be just the classic, Sundered Sky into Cleaver. But for BNK, I think it becomes very hard because they are a very burst-focused composition, right? It's Raptor goes in, Vikla goes in, Diablo goes in, they blow their cooldowns, take down a member. We saw them do that very well in the last game. But this time they are playing into Renata. I think their bot lane is going to struggle way more to have a winning matchup than they did last time around.
Oh, wow.
As we can see right here.
Diablo is well and truly exiting the whole situation. That is a no bout, if ever I've seen one. As...
Oh no.
Oh god, that burst damage was ridiculous. I barely even understand where it all came from. But yeah, that's why he left. As Diablo not exactly having the greatest win rate on Evolution thus far, but Raptor might be able to make a little bit of a difference to it here, as it looks like First Blood going to be cleaned up by the Doggo. That should be a second kill as well, as Beryl is just so far from safety. It's a double kill for the Nefiri in the bottom lane, and that is a level 3 gank if ever I've seen one.
Well, it changes the situation a little bit, doesn't it, Atlas?
Well, does it? Because you just said that whoever gets ahead going to be having a good time.
I mean in bot lane specifically.
Aha.
Because obviously they were doing very, very well. I think they were surprised by the amount of burst, or they didn't want to use their sums. Because they actually did have all sums available. I think the call was just like, we are dead.
Yeah.
There was no way of really making out, which I think was actually pretty true with how much damage aiming already took. There could have been an angle for them to try and turn it if they had access to the bailout, but they didn't because Barrel's level 2.
Yep.
Right? So went for handshake as well as the, don't know the name, you know, the mist, the shield.
The logistics protocol.
There you go. Thank you very much.
One of the just easily, it's easily recognizable, that particular.
We all know what it does.
Yeah, absolutely. It just tells a story in the name itself.
It really does. But that is actually really well done by Raptor here, who continues to have a better early impact than Lucid does, even in the game where I think Lucid had a great game on the Trundle. The early impact was definitely found there, and it's that cohesion between the jungle and support that I think we saw yesterday also be the biggest difference maker between which team was winning. And thus far, early on here, BNK getting a ton of value out of that with the very early go. And guess what? Raptor isn't even substantially behind in farm, even with that little delay, and obviously able to pick up a ton of gold here.
Yeah, it's kind of obscene. 3 longswords now completed as well. And so that first back feeling very, very nice. Vikla is moving down towards the bottom side, but it looks like he is just going for that tier back. Wants to be able to get that one stacked as quickly as possible. As Raptor once again looking for an opportunity. As aiming in barrel, they are going to spot him. But now you've got a great handshake to come through. So now it should be a 2v1 for the foreseeable future. And Raptor does have to get himself out of there this time. DK are able to play it well.
Yeah, I have to always be a little bit careful when it comes to Kalista lanes. If you don't burst her down and she just starts stacking spears, the gank can turn very ugly very quickly. Lucid also has been meticulously tracked, by the way, in this early game. Continuously there are wards on his camps. So BNK is keeping very good track of where the opposing team's jungler is. Also, Lucid doesn't have access to 6 yet. Does now pick up a little bit of an experience lead thanks to his bot lane absorbing that early gank. I don't really think that this is even remotely diveable, but it could be looking to just deny some vision, as well as deny a decent amount of CS here, as we'll see. Maybe just trying to look for the catch onto Raptor here, but they do have the knowledge that this is happening, right? As and they go.
They're going to have to flash this time around as Lucid back in the area, charging the Vault Breaker, but will not go in, I don't think.
That's still a big window for BNK. They got the flash out of barrel.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be too bothered. I think they were trying to fake.
Ooh, handshake does pull Kellen in. I don't know whether they necessarily wanted that, or at least Lucid didn't, but he's going to be able to make it out. Now aiming, trying to hop around this fight. And heal does have to be invested here. All right, Raptor now going to start weaving his way through the enemy jungle that we can see is a little bit barren. That should be fine. Showmaker gets a nice little shove in here. Things very even in the mid lane. A few CS maybe going Vikla's way as Raptor is going to rotate up. And the Crab likely to go towards BNK here as Raptor is able to dive on over. No worries there at all.
Fighting. Lucid's here.
Okay, possible angle here. Showmaker looking for another round of spells, but man, Vikla is, with those 2 rocks, the 2 red rocks, just feeling pretty tanky.
Lucid also doesn't have 6 yet. With that though, Raptor is no longer behind in experience, and it's just a little push and pull here. But as highlighted, I think that this is a good start of a lead for BNK. It's not until they actually win a skirmish that I think we can decisively say that they're going to be able to run away with this one. We're seeing some itemization considerations for Raptor there.
He has got a lot of items. Not a whole lot of them complete, but he's certainly got a lot of things.
Soon. Sure.
Oh, yeah. This Neferi, though, is going to be a big deal. And we were questioning it as far as that R5 pick was concerned, but so far has done well. It's about how he translates the lead that he's found in the jungle to more.
Both teams also have the same math equation they need to solve, which is we want to kill a single target to start off our fight well and get our reset. But there is a big problem on the enemy team that kind of doesn't allow us to do that in the form of both the Braum and the Renata.
Yeah.
So how do we fix that? We're gonna find out here.
Well, the culling is going to soften up aiming quite a lot here. That means that Lucid probably not going to be able to get in and challenge for these grubs. He knows that, is going to back away.
Still gonna go?
Well, Showmaker looking for a little bit of an angle here as the Foxfire comes down, not able to steal anything away. As now BNK just clearing out the vision, they will be able to secure the rest of these grubs. So that is all three going over to BNK to start this one off, exerting the power of this Nefiri. As Diablo will be able to clear out this wave, look for a little bit of a back angle, and all is quiet. After that, 700 gold going to be the resulting lead here for BNK. Almost exactly first blood and an extra kill. But the fact that they've been able to hold on to that has been important here.
It is interesting, though, that due to the fact that the kills went over the Raptor, it didn't really change the bot lane matchup substantially, right? That was really nice use of the level 6 power spike there by the BNK bot lane, which is what got them the grubs.
Yep.
Because Aiming did not have his available, and Barrow also wasn't able to get the handshake to find the cancel. But now we do have these two teams, I think, most likely going to be scrapping. Lucid can't really go too hard onto Raptor. Needs to be careful.
Well, he's just going to go in, finds the ulti onto Raptor, who does go untargetable. We'll see whether they can actually get the kill, but first it's going to be Lucid going down. Aiming has to flash, as now Beryl is, just doomed. And they tried to do it. They hit Raptor with everything, and that was not enough.
Yeah, there's a reason why I said they couldn't. And that's because Nefiri can go untargetable.
Yeah.
So, if Zion wasn't there, that play works, which to me is kind of insane. Because they just didn't know Clear was here, I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, they wouldn't go in on Raptor. But it's that play that ensures that Raptor, I think, lives for long enough. And then they remember down. So this skirmish was always going to be a bit of a disaster if they don't get the immediate setup. And even if they do, it would still have been an uphill battle. So that is a colossal win here early for BNK, and as highlighted, I think that getting early leads with this composition is going to make the life of DK exceptionally hard, and BNK, imagine if they were able to, on the red side I might add, get themselves to a 2-1 lead.
Yep, this is what we were talking about at the very beginning. This could be a huge boon because this is DK's side selection, and losing a service game does not feel great. To reference tennis, much like we did with like.
He is
an avid tennisser.
Oh, yeah. He is hooked.
That was all right. Aiming a barrel now positioned here in this mid lane. Could still be absolutely fine, but we're looking to see whether DK can actually find themselves a bit of cohesion in this game, find some of that mojo back, because the tempo vibes swung over to BNK, and they have not swung back. Just hasn't really been a thing. As Clear is just looking real tough to kill in this game. Spectre's Cal really going to make things tough for Showmaker. Absolutely.
Trying to kind of think about how these fights thus far have played out. We did see, and this is, I think, a bigger issue for DK than it is for BNK, is that there aren't a lot of good targets. So we saw there why Nefiri is a rough one. Diablo has sums and is very mobile. Kalin, I think, self-explanatory. It's Braum. So unless he mispositions, it shouldn't really be a good target. And Vikla is going to be very beefy, and Clear is Sion. And I think for DK, they have a lot more targets that are somewhat viable to burst down.
Yep.
Especially Beryl, if he doesn't have flash and he's not able to really threaten anyone with the counter punch. Because then his bailout doesn't get a lot of value. As Aiming again, getting taken low.
Oh god, there's a train! Aiming is just going to get ran into, but does have the bailout available. We'll see whether he can actually survive. The answer is no, as it's a double kill for the Nefiri once again. There is an answer though for DK this time around, but Lucid getting taken so low. Showmaker dives in, they take down Diablo, but Raptor is still at full health in this game, as the dash outs for Shio are trying to work out here as Vikla makes his way forward, but he's picked up by a Q, and DK, they try and salvage at the end. But this doggo is just such a problem.
And it is a 3-for-2 trade in favor of BNK. I think DK stopped that from being a complete disaster, but it's still such a big trade up here. If they don't get the counter kills, I think that's just game over. The mid lane turret will fall, and that'll be the end of it. And it is, again, Diablo setting up early here, gets Aiming to half health, takes him so low, and then despite the ultimate, Aiming just doesn't really get to play the video game. The arrival of Lucid and Clear means that at least there's some counter-punching to be done, but there is so much damage available with the Neferi. And even though Diablo dies, you think he cares when he gets to do that much damage in a fight? No.
I would say no.
Because he's Diablo. So the turret will remain standing, but as you highlight, this Neferi is getting further and further ahead. But more importantly, Diablo is now also starting to run away with this game.
Well, Showmaker looking for a bit of an angle towards Raptor here. Does have Kellen as backup.
It has been very clean though, which makes me think that some shenanigans are abound, Dplus.
Yeah, I think we're due. We're certainly due some weird stuff. The problem is, I don't think that bodes well for this not being a BNK blowout, as Cannon Minion going to be denied here. Showmaker not able to get up there and collect that one, as having a look at the gold, 1,000 in the lead. Is Raptor definitely the most notable advantage, but also Diablo with almost a 900 gold lead. And Plate's just falling down here in this mid lane, getting some free time. Feels very, very nice for him. First items come in for aiming, as that Blade of the Ruined King is done. But as far as the buffs to Callista are concerned, you probably want 2 items, as that was largely to do with Rage Blade. So does still need to put that together to really feel good on this champion.
Now, looking at the setup, Raptor is approaching that Cleaver. Gonna make even Shiyu very easy to get through.
Yep.
This is, outside of that, I think the situation is a little bit better for DK relatively, because they're not really that far behind on big spikes. And they're going to need it, as it's going to take a lot of damage here, I do think.
Yeah, a bit of a Shiyu sandwich situation here as the train comes through. They're looking for Beryl, but he just gets Fate's called. Shiyu goes all out, but doesn't quite get over that wall, but does still manage to dash. But the Q is going to be there, and Clear helps lock it down for Vikla. Oh, that was a very awkward scenario. Took a lot longer than I was expecting, but they do manage to get their mark.
And that is going to be the second dragon going over to BNK. And I don't really even know if there's a counterpunch available here for DK. They're going to try and maybe make a play for Herald, but they're still down a member.
Yep. And of course, BNK right now down a member because there is a Neferi doing a dragon.
And they can't do it.
Yeah, Beryl is going to move away now, as Diablo was threatening this outer turret. It is going to be a Mountain Soul this game, but double dragon over to BNK is a big deal. As nice handshake. Hostile takeover does nothing at all though, but Showmaker has found the backline. Diablo could be in trouble, but there's just not the damage to take him down. Now he's going to get safe as Lucid gets attempted to be bailed out, but they just don't have the damage to follow it up. And Shiyu pushes a couple back in. Clear is just so tanky though. And Shiyu not quite as much. Clear capable of tanking up the turret as well. Man, BNK in these last couple of games have just been diabolical in the team fight.
And I think that's it for this game. Even on blue side, DK, the skirmishes just don't quite work out for them. And now that's going to be Herald, mid lane turret sure to fall. The gold lead going to get even bigger as Shiyu gets caught out of position here, found by Raptor. And even though the calling doesn't hit the mark, they have to invest so much. If they get Clear here over the wall, maybe that could have been enough. But they don't. He gets the knock up. The root follows, and that's Shiyu down. And that was already rough, but then right here, it's feels like a Hail Mary with Showmaker on a flank, but Beryl's ultimate just needs to get value there. If he doesn't get anything out of that, imagine with how close this fight is that hits, it could have been enough. I think he was looking preemptively for it as the Neferi Raptor was trying to threaten to go in, but he didn't. So the ult just gets wasted. And BNK play a clean team fight. Mid lane turret has fallen. Bot lane turret sure to fall as well. And BNK, I think, are on the precipice of going up. Match point here.
Yep, it's looking like it. 4.5k, the gold lead. As Clear is getting rid of vision here in the jungle. I did my best to not say clearing vision, because that would have been funny. But that is going to be a charm that Raptor just dives right into. Now he's dead. And the shutdown goes to Beryl.
In his defense, I think it was the turret that did that.
Still unfortunate.
Very bad. Yeah,
you would say
really unlucky.
It's not exactly optimal, as now Shiyu is in so much trouble. The Venn diagram gets put down, and winning was a very small portion of that for Shiyu. Yeah, looking for a little bit of an angle here, as of course Diablo has made his way out.
Maybe not.
Okay, so DK not going to go for anything, but you can feel the desperation, right? They have to try and go for whatever they can find to piecemeal themselves together an advantage.
You know what the funniest part is that despite that, Kellen still has a 250 gold leader for Barrel.
Yeah, and also both members of the bottom lane here for BNK have 100% kill participation.
Yep.
That is crazy with how chaotic these Rise Group games should be.
That said, though, I mean, the pump so far for me is should be very obvious. It's the doggo.
Aha!
Even though, you know, he did just have display, so that obviously doesn't help the case, but it's the smite into the setup, and then... I don't even...
Showmaker just
it wasn't...
having a bit of fun there.
Is it like the... It actually is the loyalty program, right? Or was it protocol program?
Logistics protocol?
Logistics program.
Protocol? Something like that.
It's a big deal.
Yep.
That actually would have been gold that both the Vi as well as the Ahri could have used well. Now BNK, outer ring of turrets fully down, Atlas.
Circling of the drain has commenced here for DK. They're going to have to pray to the Rise gods to get something to work here, but Rise is kind of a god here as in goes Raptor once again. Hostile takeover to try and lock him down is aiming, looking for the Ren, but it's not enough to take him down. Shiu is going to die, now the Realm Warp to get them all in there. The Vi goes down, Diablo is frontlining as aiming, not able to bail himself out of this one, and it's only Showmaker left standing. Triple kill for Diablo. And BNK, they'll be able to take this in a turret. There is, unfortunately for them, no Baron for another 5 minutes in this game, but they could take the Otacon in 5 seconds' time.
And that is going to be BNK, certainly going up to 2-1 here, Atlas. As this was a Hail Mary from DK, I think it goes without saying, as the ult from Barrel zones away some of the members. I don't think it really hits the mark again. They needed basically a 5-man ultimate, and then all they're playing for, I guess, are the rend resets. Watch how much Diablo cares.
Yeah, no,
Throughout all of that. As Clear, frontlining, standing strong in front of the rest of his team, as there was the Otacon take, and the gold lead now.
Oh, God. The
even
pedals.
bigger.
Look at that, 37 pedals.
Oh, yeah. Love the little indicator, by the way.
I know, it's very, very cool. I was very happy when Wolf pointed that one out yesterday. New addition to our UI, so we can keep up with all the foliage that has been collected by all of our teams.
Atlas,
yes.
I'm going to be real with you.
Please be real with me.
I've been a little bit disappointed in how Rise this series is.
Really?
We got the one moment, last team fight with the Otacon, or like last game. That was
also, like, game 1 felt like it had some Risey moments.
Yeah, but in hindsight, that still was kind of a
clean
stomp for most of it, right?
Yeah. It is a bit of a shame that we're not getting, you know, the Rise delivery, but maybe that's what's going to happen.
Game 4 and 5.
Game 4 and 5.
Will there be a game 5 though?
Well, at this rate, I am not entirely sure.
Maybe Vikla can help us get there.
Well, let's just see. As Lucid is going to turn up. Aiming going to find him there as well as Vikla goes golden. But he does get knocked back, flashes away though, and now it's DK that are in a rough spot as the train comes down. Clear, not finding too much value, but does it matter? It absolutely does not, as Raptor has an entire pet shop after Showmaker here. And Lucid is just going to get cleaned up on the back, and Showmaker trying his very best as we zoom back in, but the Foxy Lady is just going to get obliterated, and Diablo is dealing with this wave. This game, ladies and gentlemen, is over.
Completely donezo, as it's... Look at the kill score as well. So many of these fights have felt like they were close, but then we look up.
I don't know whether you were feeling the same ones that I was feeling.
Okay, I feel like they're dramatic, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for DK, this one ends up dramatic as well as Vikla. So doesn't care, phase rushes, Zhonya's, barely takes a quarter of his health bar.
And then also flashes over so he can still be in range to do some damage from over the wall.
And, I mean, these plays are DK saying, well, we've lost anyway, might as well try to go for the Hail Mary.
Yep.
But they're not working.
It certainly is not. And now I think they're just planning on what they're going to do to try and get back into this series in game number 4. At least that's what I'm hoping. As Lucid Beryl could be in a little bit of trouble. The Fate's Call does come on through. Nice double knock up there, but unfortunately I just don't think it's really going to work as Raptor's over the wall. Hostile takeover will force out the untargetability, but Shiu is just going to try and limp towards the rest of his teammates. Does manage to make it over. The Doggo's getting a bit angry, but the redemption is going to be there. Diablo is down relatively low, but there is no one threatening him. There's another minion wave, and this inner turret is also going to go down. So that's going to move us to about a 12,000 gold lead for BNK FEARX. And they're going to go for a reset. Next dragon is going to be Mountain Soul, but that's in 2.5 minutes. It's probably going to be Baron that BNK are going to look to in order to win this game.
And we're getting to the point where, like, even if you get the crazy, like, you get a Baron steal, right? Like, does that actually change it? No, it doesn't. It doesn't change this game whatsoever, Atlas.
You know how it was looking, like, aiming, oh yeah, all you need to do is get the Rage Blade and then everything. Like, Diablo has 3 items, and aiming hasn't even finished the Rage Blade yet.
No. And you know what? I think the Power Spike might not be enough.
I don't think it is a Power Spike.
Well, no, I mean, it's still Power Spike.
Well, Power Spikes, I think, are relative to the state of the game.
Well, that depends on how you, like, absolutely.
A Power Spike is about a cadence to which you can be strong. And this is too late, unfortunately.
Another Hail Mary!
Yeah, they're going to go for it here as Handshake's coming down. Hostile takeover, getting a fair bit of work done. Shiu finally turning up to the fight as aiming has been bailed out, but it is unfortunately not going to be enough. It's expensive to try and get him out of this one as Beryl now in a very uncomfortable position. And no matter what DK do, there is no winning these fights.
I kind of love that. So they realm warped out the target that was focused. Vikla was like, you can't get a Ren set if there is no one to Ren. I'm dipping.
Oh my goodness.
Like, and also, let's be real, he has Seraphs, and Seraphs still didn't even get fucked, by the way.
Yeah. He's also 4-0-10. The Rise is just having a pretty good time here in this game. We're going to compare aiming and Diablo here to add some insult to the injury that is already prevailing. And 2 inhibitors now on the floor. BNK, they can wander back, grab themselves a Baron, play this one by the book, and I think that is likely to be what we're going to see at this stage. 14,000 gold is the lead, and Baron has only just spawned.
Yeah, as we take another look, so I guess Clear was the target, but then they turn onto Vikla. Watch this. Guess what? No Renta, even that, again, wouldn't have made a difference, right? Even with the bailout.
Yeah.
But it is really funny.
If for some reason aiming did do damage,
yes,
then they would have also been fine.
That Rage Blade Power Spike.
Indeed.
Because he still didn't have it there.
No.
That actually, unironically, maybe they would have gotten a kill.
He still doesn't have it now.
Oh,
there it is. Never mind. Now we're cooking with gas, baby. Let's go. Yeah, it's 14.
Or boiling with rage because it's I guess he's out.
He is. He is gonna make.
They also, I'm pretty sure, did spot Lucid because he went for the ward over the wall. Okay, so Lucid needs to steal this, obviously. Like, that goes without saying.
He does.
And then a lot of other things need to happen. Let's see if we can get the first part of this going.
Well, Showmaker did just teleport away.
We're just turning!
Yeah, we're just going to turn. They look to lock down Shiu. He's going to be going down first as Raptor dives on top of aiming. And as soon as he's closed the gap, I just don't think that there's any way for this Kalista to do anything. The bailout does activate, but unfortunately, he's just not getting any kills in this game. As the Vault Breaker goes out there for Lucid, but I just don't know whether that is going to help
It's fine,
either.
Atlas, he's denying him access to the soul.
True!
Now, don't look at the base.
Unfortunately, we're zooming in on said base.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
I'll try and ignore it. Okay, I'll cast off the mini-map as I'll look at the fountain as Lucid and Showmaker truly taking control of their fountain at this stage. But the Nexus turrets are exploding, and it's just BNK celebrating as they will hit match point in this best of 5 in the play-ins to stay in the upper bracket and give themselves the best chances of playoffs. Still one more game, of course, but they are in such a good spot now.
And Atlas, it's kind of an everything gap.